Nick, you found university one of the most competitive environments that you'd ever been in, and so that began to chip away at your self-worth, didn't it?
Absolutely. I lost all my self-worth at university. I had none. By the time I left, I had none anyway. I studied architecture at university, and it's just the most competitive environment you can imagine. It's not actually meant to be competitive, but when you're sharing a space with people day in, day out who are working through the day non-stop and go without sleep every single day, it's very easy to be aware of what everyone else is doing around you.
Yeah,
You know what you're doing, and it should really be your work it should be between you and your tutor, and that's it. But when you're sat either side of other people and you know exactly what they're doing, you can see everyone else's work up on the wall, you know what they've got on the table, you know what they're designing. Everyone's having pin-up sessions with tutors week in, week out. It's on display.
Wow.
So you can't help but compare what you're doing, or where you're at, how far along you are in the process of your design, with everyone else. It's impossible not to. And as a result, I developed this intense fear of mediocrity, where it was terrifying to put out work, because it would be public, it would be on the wall. No matter what you put out there, it could be the crappiest piece of work in the world, it's going to be on the wall. Can I say that? It could be the crappiest piece of work you're going to put out there, but it is going to be out there, and there's no hiding from that. And this intense fear of mediocrity, where I wouldn't even be comfortable submitting things that I didn't deem to be of the absolute highest standard. It had to be better than everyone else, and it's ridiculous. It's so unhealthy, and it means that because you see other people going through the night without sleep, you do the same thing, because you can't afford to let them get ahead. Even though you're not actually in competition with you can't. You're not in competition with them, but you don't allow them to get ahead, because you need to keep pace. But also at the same time, who wants to put up work that is average or isn't quite as good as you? I think creative types end up being so competitive. It's just naturally in us, I'd say, as architects, to want to design something better. And I would never settle for something. I wasn't even comfortable with just being good. I wanted to be really good. And that is so unhealthy, and I would set myself the most unachievable targets every single time, things I couldn't possibly reach, and hours of sleep that nobody could possibly live with, just to get good marks. At the same time, sometimes I'd fall so far behind because the work I was producing wasn't even good enough to submit anyway, so I wouldn't even submit, which is just it's so completely counterproductive. I would do work and then not even submit it, and then therefore fall behind.
And in the midst of that as well, the President's Medal?
So we had this, in architecture at school, there is one award given to the best project in the entire country. So not even just your school, there is one student of the thousands of students who do architecture year in, year out, one student gets the President's Medal. And I wanted that. And it's just, I think it's fine to be ambitious, that's okay. But setting yourself a target that is so the chance of you getting is so minute, and not settling for anything but that is really unhealthy. And I think you can have that aim. That's fine. But
if that's
letting yourself get down as a result of not achieving that ridiculously high standard is completely unhealthy. And I allowed myself to get to a very unhealthy state. And actually, it translated, even when I left university and came to work in London, it translated itself. The same conditions, the same problems I was experiencing at university, translated themselves into my workplace. So now I'm an artist for architects, and I'm still producing images like I would back at university. But instead of seeking the approval of tutors or my peers, I'm now seeking the approval of, not now, I'm over this now, but I would seek the approval of clients and other architects, and I would go without sleep. Exactly the same at university. I'd go without sleep to ensure that I was so afraid of failure and so afraid of just being mediocre that I'd go without sleep in my workplace for no extra reward, just to get them go, nice, thanks. That's all it was, just thanks for the work. They'd have no idea I've gone without sleep.
Or nice, but we decided to scrap that idea, we're going to go somewhere else.
That happens every time, and actually that hurts. It only hurts because my self-worth came from that work, and actually sometimes if you put so much in and they go, oh yeah, that project's been cancelled, it's just like, that was me. That wasn't just work. It was tied to my identity. So having someone say nah or next, it would be like they were assessing me, and that's what was so unhealthy about it.
But what I love what you said there was, I'm over that now. So can you tell us about what's the shift, what's happened?
I think, as I say, ambition is fine. Setting yourself a target that you want to do well, that's absolutely fine. I think perfectionism is also fine when it's controlled. and not inappropriate. I think the world needs perfectionists sometimes. I think some jobs require people who have an eye for detail. That's absolutely fine. When it's used in unhealthy circumstances, that's when it's not okay.
Yeah.
But as a piece of advice, I'd probably say that going into any project or any work situation or any life situation with the expectancy that there's a chance you might fail is the key.
That's good.
Because lessons learnt from failing is the biggest. And I find those lessons are the biggest for me.
Yeah.
Recognizing that, it's going to be okay to fail because I'm going to get better as a result of that is fine.
Yeah.
Rather than preventing any further work just because you're afraid of the chance that you might fail.
So what happened that you were like, okay, that's it, I'm gonna...
I just realised that it just didn't matter. I think recognising at the same time that it doesn't define you, and there are so many more important things outside of those four walls. That's what helped me, just realising it doesn't matter at all. But it's a really gradual process, and I think it has come with age, unfortunately. You just recognise after a while that it just doesn't matter. Yeah.
So in terms of your word of encouragement, would that be it, or would there be anything you'd want to add on top of that?
I would just say welcome failure. Welcome failure and welcome the lessons you will learn from failure. That's what I would say.
Wow.
Powerful. So good.
Job done.
About 18 months ago, I was also sort of still around the 18 stone mark. And I kind of got to a point where, like having kids, I'm like, you know what, I want to be able to run about with them. And I kind of got to a place where I was getting a bit out of breath and, trying to chase after them. So I was like, you know what, I've got to make a change.